Hi, this is Red Herring Reviews. I'm Jonathan, and I just saw the new Solo, a Star Wars story, and today I will be giving you a spoiler-free review, or actually, I guess it's just really my thoughts and opinions, because I can't really go into too much detail and review the movie without telling you some of the more specific details. But overall, I'll give you my thoughts and opinions about the film. And yeah, so it was directed by Ron Howard, and there were some other directors. I'll explain it later in my spoiler field review. But essentially, Ron Howard came into it and had to finish what they had started. And I'll be honest, like when I saw that Ron Howard was going to be making this movie, I was really excited because most of the movies that he's directed, that he has under his belt, I'm a huge fan of. And so he directed the movie. It stars Alden Ehrenreich, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but he portrays young Han Solo, and Donald Glover as Lando, and Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones. She's plays the character Kira, who's sort of the love interest for Han Solo, and she has an interesting character, which again I won't talk about. I'll talk about it later in the other review, but I thought she did great. And Woody Harrelson sort of plays a sort of a, I guess people have been calling it like a mentor sort of like person. Obviously, he's basically the character that's sort of teaching Han how to live in the life of being a smuggler, and I thought he was really good. And then there's some other actors as well, but those are sort of the main ones. And the story is, again, it takes place kind of in the past. They don't really explain where in the time frame that it is, but obviously Han Solo is younger, and it tells the story of when he meets Chewbacca, and of course meeting Lando, and sort of like that whole backstory of how they have history together. And so it just sort of goes through and explains how he got into this life of smuggling, and I can't really say anymore because I would get into spoiler territory. So yeah, it's just a cool adventure story, and I guess it's kind of like a heist, like it's kind of a heist movie. And that's about all I'll say about the plot. And my thoughts on the movie are, I guess it's kind of like a heist, like it's kind of a heist movie. And that's about all I'll say about the plot. And my thoughts on the movie are that, I was really having a hard time like trying to come up with some negatives about the movie, just because I really liked it. I mean, I love watching movies, and I love, thinking about movies more than just like, the story and everything. It's like, I like the cinematography, I like the sound, the score, the music in the movie. And so like, I'll watch all these things, and you kind of look for plot holes and just things that don't really make sense, or things that don't, fit well, or you're like, I wish they had done this differently, and all these different things where you sort of analyze films. I just love doing all that, and which is obviously why I'm a movie review channel. But in watching this movie, I just had a really hard time finding things that I did not like about it, or things that I was like, I wish I could change this. Again, in the spoiler review, spoiler filled review, I'll give more details about certain things that I can talk about. But it was just a fun movie. Like, if you like Star Wars and you like the characters and you're not pretentious, because there's a lot of Star Wars fans who have like very strong opinions about like characters, and I'll talk about that again later in the spoiler filled review. But I just like Star Wars. I like the universe, I like the characters, and anytime that they can make more movies and just sort of saturate me and my life with more Star Wars, I'm like all for that. Again, not to say they can't mess things up and kind of like annoying little things here and there, but just ignore everything that everybody's saying. Unless you're one of those people that is really have those strong opinions, then I honestly don't know how, most of those people that are like annoyed by this movie have never even seen it. They're just annoyed because of the direction that Star Wars is sort of going now that Kathleen Kennedy has taken over Lucasfilm. And, with The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, especially with The Last Jedi, a lot of people have very differing opinions, which I will do a movie review and how I feel about that movie. But this review is about Solo, a Star Wars story. And in watching this movie, I think it's great. It's fun. It is entertaining for sure. It's got some amazing set pieces, like some of the action sequences were just like really cool. And the way that they were shot was just amazing. And there was a lot of little Easter eggs like all throughout the movie. Again, I'll talk about them in that other review, just because I don't want to spoil anything. But there were some really cool Easter eggs, and the way they implemented them into the movie didn't just feel like a big, wink at the camera, like, or the audience, like, oh, here's a Easter egg to make, like, how they do that in movies. It's kind of annoying when they sort of like, I don't know, just kind of put it in your face, but like it's just kind of like real subtle in some of these little Easter eggs, how they like implemented them, and it was just really cool to see all that. And really, like, the way I see it is that it just sort of like ties this movie into the bigger Star Wars universe, which is, I thought was great. So yeah, I'm rambling. I really like the movie. I recommend that you see it, and if you want to stay in touch with some of my reviews and just sort of my thoughts moving forward about, again, I'm going to hopefully soon in the next day or so post my spoiler-filled review where I go into more detail about the movie. You can just hit the subscribe button down below and you'll get notified when my new videos pop up. And I would really appreciate that. And again, go see the movie. It's fun. It's amazing. I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments. So yeah, go see it. Oh yeah, and I'm still working on trying to figure out how I'm going to do this channel and stuff. And so, like, most people that do reviews give like a rating system. If I had to give this movie a score out of 5, I would give it 4.5 DL44 blasters. Because like I said, it's not perfect, it's not a perfect movie, but it is great for what it is. And again, I'm rambling, but it's just a fun movie. Go see it. So I can't give it like a perfect score, I guess, but yeah. So anyways, thanks for watching and have a great day. Thanks.